This video is brought to you by Scopic.com. Get yours now.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is Phil from Scopic.com. So we're going to take a look at Sky IM-100, or I'm back as they call it with the Korean version of pun, but I don't want to describe it, so we're just going to skip that part. Alright, to start with, it's got a very rectangular design, very squarish rectangular design. It almost has no rounded corner whatsoever, so it's not exactly the best grippable phone in your hands. And also the rear cover is a pure piece of plastic, polycarbonate, or whichever you want to call it, but let's just call it plastic. And the thing here is that they didn't apply a single coat on top of it. They could have applied a little of a glossy or a matte layer of coat there, but they didn't. So it doesn't feel very great on your hand, let alone looking premium. Their take of putting LED on the back and front side as well is actually a pretty good idea. So you can know what's happening whether the phone is facing front or back. We kind of feel that this is borrowed feature from the Next Bit Robin, but whatever, it's actually pretty good to have it there. Dominating most of the front screen is a 5.15 inch of a Full HD panel. It's a TFT IPS panel and it's actually pretty bright and very accurate in color. Although they do not come with any kind of white balance or a screen mode adjustment, it's actually a very good panel and very pleasure to look at. One of the most iconic feature of the IM-100 is the wheel key over here. There are two actions that you can do. You can scroll with the wheel or you can click on it. It also clicks. And when you scroll, it comes with 100 level of a volume, but don't worry that you'll have to spend too long time to adjust from 0 to 100, because if you scroll slowly, it's going to give you 100 levels of a volume, but if you scroll fastly, it's going to go in 5 different levels: 100, 80, 60, 40, 20 to 0. You can bring up the Sky One player at any part of the screen that you're at and play your favorite music, but the problem here is that Sky One player might not be your favorite music player, because you can be streaming, you can be watching a movie, but the part here is that it doesn't work anywhere else than the Sky One player. If they couldn't have made it to work with all the apps, they could have at least make it work with some major apps like the Google Play Music or a YouTube control, but they didn't do that. It only has Sky One player, which isn't exactly the best player that I've ever seen. But of course, the biggest feature of the IM-100 is not the phone itself, but the Stone. Stone is basically a wireless charging enabled Bluetooth speaker that comes with the phone. It's a very interesting idea to just give out those Bluetooth speaker that you can tap and hold to turn on. And here's a little LED lamp that you can change the color with your built-in app from your phone. And it also lights up for the notification that you have on your phone. And it also can wake you up by playing alarm from the speaker itself, not from your phone. There are two main complaints that I have for the Stone itself. Is that firstly, the sound quality isn't exactly the best. It sounds just like any other 20-30 bucks Bluetooth speaker that you can find out on eBay. And secondly, wireless charging does take its time, but that's acceptable, it's wireless. But you might want to consider the fact that the wireless charging is only available when the speaker is plugged into a power source, even though it's got 2600 milliamps of battery built in. Still, it's a very interesting idea, and here is a pairing button on the bottom, and if you're an iOS user, you can still use it as a Bluetooth speaker, but unfortunately this is not sold separately. Software part is fairly interesting as well. Firstly, you can change the button combination of the soft key over there, or you can make it into a slimmer soft key, which is a very welcome feature that every phone out there with a soft key should have. The icons on the notification bar are very narrowly positioned, so you can see more icons without expanding your notification bar, but it sometimes feels like there is too little space between the icons, but it's up to your taste. I personally think the user interface overall are way too colorful. I would have definitely appreciated a little bit of subdued colored icons, but it's up to your likings, and it's not too bad. It's just that I'm more to a simplistic approach of the icons. And perhaps something too bad for the international users out there, it does not support any other language than English and Korean, so if you speak any other language than this, then you're out of luck. Capping with Snapdragon 430 processor and 2GB of RAM might not sound exactly spectacular, but it's actually better than you think. I've used this for about 2 weeks now, and I haven't faced a single lag while using this phone, although I'm usually pretty harsh on the apps that I use. It rarely gave me any refreshes, and if that happened, I can just kill them all and it worked like a charm. Unless you're a hardcore gamer, this will just work fine. Whatever you do is actually flawless, and it's very fast in the sense as well. The cameras were definitely one of the features that outperformed my expectations. Live filter wasn't exactly my favorite feature as it took its time, but overall low lighting condition photos were beyond my expectation, and everything is actually pretty well in detail. But again, the selfie cam wasn't exactly the best one, but I can deal with it. That's because the battery in this guy is pretty good. It's got a 3000 milliamps of cell built in that's not replaceable, but still it managed to give me about 4.5 hours of screen on time, if not longer. And yet again, as I always do for my phones, I turned off all the power saving features, so if you have more Wi-Fi connection and power saving, then you should be able to use it even longer than I did with this. Unfortunately, it does not support any fancy quick charge supports, but it still supports 2 amps charging, and you will only have to spend 2 hours to top up this 3000 milliamps of cell. If you're a fan of wireless charging, then it will have to ask you for additional hour or an hour and a half, but I still think it's within the reasonable range of charging time. Bottom line, I was actually pretty surprised that Pantech has made a phone this good. They went bankrupt and they were on the verge of, being extinct, and they came back with the phone called I'm Back. And usually when that happens, the results are not exactly stunning, but this thing is. Considering that it comes with the Bluetooth speaker stone, I think it's a reasonably priced phone with a decent feature and pretty good battery, along with pretty good camera. It's not widely available, it's only available in Korea for now, but except for that, this is a pretty good phone, and if you want to try it, you should. You'll like it. Thank you always for watching. You can meet us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, and we'll see you guys later with new and more phones. Ciao.